does life have so many problems? Are we doing something wrong? So, this idea came to me for a show it. Where first off, obviously, we're going back to Final Fantasy Legend 2. I am Nick Peters, the gaming theologian, and I affirm the virgin birth. And this show came to me because I was thinking about two situations that are very different, but there is something that they actually have in common. I know that sounds odd, but just hear me out on this, okay? So, I was thinking about, first off, I've had a new boss at work for a while, about a month or so now. And at the start, she was very stressing out about it, because there was a steep learning curve for her, and I don't think I'm saying anything that she would mind me saying here, because she's pretty much told everyone who's coming to the post office the same thing. But she was panicking about it, and told someone who came by, so I just thought I'd come in here and I'd get everything under control and everything would work out right. There wouldn't be all these problems that would come up. And he said, there's going to be problems everywhere. That's part of the way it works. Problems happen. And I really pondered that saying a bit. Then yesterday, I'm in a dating group on Facebook for Christian men and women, and this girl talks to us, the men in the group makes a comment saying, where isn't it, I understand it's very difficult for men to approach women today. And I said, yeah, it is, because we get labeled as creeps and reported to HR and all this other stuff. And instead of condemning it and saying, well, you guys just need to be tougher and things like that, he actually seemed sympathetic and said, I kind of wonder if I was born at the wrong time. Because, I know there are good women out there, but we men don't know which ones they are. So we're not up to taking chances unnecessarily. We need good evidence. And I told her that Act 17 indicates that she was born at the right time. Now, it's not a hard and fast rule, I think, because I don't think Paul is speaking about individuals so much as he's speaking about people groups. I mean, especially in our day and age where I was born in Tennessee, and now here I live in New Orleans. And in our day and age, you can actually have it be that you're born in one place and you live somewhere else further away later on. Heck, you could even live in another country as it is today. And yes, let's make sure we are grinding a little bit here at the start so I can get some better equipment. But I thought about both of these situations here. They seem unrelated, but actually they're not. They're both dealing with the same kind of problem overall. What are we to do in this world we live in? Now, something I'd like you to consider is that most everything we do is about dealing with a problem. I mean, consider you wake up in the middle of the night and you need to go to the bathroom. Okay. It's simple, but you know what? That's a problem. The simple solution, you get up and you go to the bathroom. I'm going to keep the fairy for a while. It's a pretty powerful one. Why are you listening to this show? Odds are you want to be better informed on things. That could be considered a problem. That you don't have all the information you'd like to have, so you're going to take steps to get that information. And when we play a game, we are automatically stepping into a problem. Every game is dealing with a problem. In a sense, it's a problem the game creates, to be sure. But if you step into that world and accept the terms, you are willingly taking on the problem. Give an example. Game most people have played. Super Mario Bros. Problem. Bowser has the princess captured. You have to solve it. And say, okay, well, I'll grant you this works for modern games, but has that always been the case? Well, yeah, actually. Because again, these are dealing with artificial problems. You play a game of baseball. Problem. You want to get all the way around the bases without getting tagged out. In the solution, you actually have to at least approach the bases first to get a hit, and then overcome all the obstacles, such as in the other players who are pretty well skilled, to get back to home plate. And if you don't overcome the problem, or you don't overcome it as well as the other side does, well, they win the game and you lose. That's just the way it is. Or, let's consider if you're playing a game like, say, Solitaire. Problem. You want to get all your cards back where they need to be from where they are. And that is the solution, that you have to play the game to solve it. If you're running a race, you want to get across the finish line before your opponents do. Again, it's a problem. All of these are artificial problems, but it doesn't change that they are problems. Now, what about our lives themselves? Well, we have problems. They could be small problems like I need to go to the bathroom during the middle of the night, or I need to fix myself dinner. Any number of things. They could be big problems. My loved one just got diagnosed with cancer. I lost someone special in a car accident. Any number of those things. And I'm definitely not saying all those problems are equal. Definitely having cancer is a bigger problem than having to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. But we're still talking about problems. Everyone has them. Even the newborn in the uh, in the hospital has problems. That's why they're crying. If the newborn had everything going great for them, they would not be crying. But they're crying because they got problems. Now, the thing is with a game, when you play a game, you willingly agree to take on the problem scenario for the time being. If you play Super Mario Bros., you agree to take on the problem that you are going to have to find a way to rescue the princess. In our own lives, we agree, though, as long as we are playing this game, that we are going to take on the problem of dealing with evil and suffering. Okay, all that stuff is too rich for my blood here. We are going to deal with what comes in our lives. Now, we can say we're not going to play the game. In other words, the answer of something like suicide, a very dark answer, which, as Christians, we're not allowed to go with that answer. So if we accept the terms of a game as they are, then we have to play, no matter what. And we can look and say, it sure would be easier if I was born in another time. But would it really? Would it? Anyway, let's take a look at this town first here. I think I'm going to go on with the story and do the grinding later. Nah, I won't. Now, people are wondering if a guardian came to Edo or not. And Hannah's father was investigating Ikagori was murdered by her men. So about her mom was rude to him as well. Can you bring back, guys? It's a hard job you about to do to avenge my father. He was investigating Ikagori's smuggling. I've got to get Ikagori arrested. We should see what's going on. And that would be part of our quest. This came. Hannah's father, my boss. He told me to watch after her, but she is such a tomboy. And we ever hearing? This is a schoolroom. Octopus and squid. How many legs together? We all know the answer is 18. Or 16 means. She's saying it's 18. Which tells you something odd is going on here. There's the old objection. Ancient gods made war, and who made the ancient gods? I'm teaching these children here right now. So, I'm going to move on to the next chapter so that we can have a better place for grinding, but we're still going to be grinding. You bet by talking with Ikagoria here. Shipment come in. Tell me, are you? It just came in. It's still in the harbor south. Where he folded awfully quickly. And Hannah went to Ikagoria's ship all alone. So, what I'm saying is, we all get to choose what's going to happen in the game, as it were. How are we going to play it? Because one way or another, as long as we are alive, we are implicitly saying, I am playing the game. We'll go back and rest at the end. I meant to do that too. And if we are going to play this game called life, where we have problems show up, might I suggest this strange idea? Let's play the game well. Not only that, let's play it in a way that we can enjoy this game. Because God gave us this life for a purpose. Is it all going to be good for us in life? No. And I'm not saying it will be, nor am I saying that we should pretend it will be. There's going to be suffering involved. We know that. And we should be prepared to accept that. And when that suffering comes, yes, we can count on others to help us through that suffering. But at the same time, what if we saw the sufferings more as those challenges to be overcome? Because the sufferings are going to come either way. And if we change how we look at the suffering, we might be able to deal with it better. We might actually be able to face the suffering head on and rise to the occasion. See, when I went to work this morning, my boss also told me, she said, I'm finally getting to the place where my life has become manageable. And I said, have you? Or are you getting to the place where you're managing your life? I contend it's more likely the former. Because I know there have been times, I even had one earlier this week, where I am kind of stressed out about something, and I go to bed at night, and when I wake up the next day, everything's a lot better for me. And objectively, what changed in the situation? Nothing. All that changed was my attitude. Ooh, that's what I wanted. Not that particular item, but getting something here means I can sell as well. If the situation didn't change, and yeah, I'm handling it better, maybe the problem isn't really the situation. Maybe the problem is my outlook on the situation. And then to move to this girl who might be thinking that she lives in a world where her chances of meeting a guy has been damaged because of whatever people have done, making it that men aren't really approaching women anymore. Where here's the advice. Grow where you're planted. If you're living in a world that seems that everything is topsy-turvy against you, then what you do is you just face it head on and say, okay, we're going to deal with it. You try and be the best that you can be. Because you know what? You can't change whatever women have done to men in the past. You just can't. It's not going to happen. And you can't change that you live in the time you live in. But you can change how you're going to treat it, how you're going to handle it. And as Christians, that is our call. We are to be salt and light wherever we are. I'm going to go with the ogre axe. That's going to be enough for me then. That did not work well. So I'm just going to sit right back and lesson learned. We're going to continue on with the mission then. After we rest and hopefully we'll get... Yeah, dragon's back up, Max. Okay. Didn't mean to do that. So now we're going to go on with the story. You are called to be salt and light. Whenever I encounter someone dealing with marriage issues, I always stop and ask them, okay, what are you doing in the situation? Because it's easy to tell me about how you think the other person... Yeah, we're going to go back and rest after all that. It's easy to tell me how you don't think the other person is measuring up to what you think they should be doing. But I'm not talking to the other person when I'm doing that. I'm talking to you. And I want to know, what are you doing? Because your marriage is also where you're planted. Now, I realize at times that there are cases of sadly abusive marriages. And no, I'm not advising someone to stay in an actual abusive marriage. But if you're not in that, you grow where you're planted. You be the light you're supposed to be. You don't wait for the other person in a marriage to do what needs to be done. I mean, how serious is that? I'm going to give my best to this relationship when they start giving their best to the relationship. How's that helping anyone? And are you saying that they have an obligation that they're supposed to give their best, but you don't have that obligation until they actually do just that? Pretty egotistical if that's the way you think. Not only that, but really, once we go down this way, this resonates with the way in how we tend to treat most everything else out there. I've come to love a lot of dystopian literature, actually. Maybe it's because I lived through the pandemic and I saw how crazy insane our world got that time. But either way, I enjoy dystopian literature. Seeing a world that is extremely fallen, always because where we went with a science and thought we could do the best we could, and it really shows the danger of these good intentions that people have a lot of times. But you know what? When you read these stories, what you notice after a while, and this happens in movies and everything else too, is that if you think there is some twinge of hope that things will work out, that's enough. That's all you need, and you can go home at the end of the day and say, "Phew, I'm so glad that story is going to work out." Somehow, you just know it will. Okay, we need to do some healing here. That's sufficient for now. Oh! Tank. And Hecate. That's going to go here because that definitely increases mana. And we need that a lot more than we need strength. You can see my mutant did a whole lot more damage there. Taro, save me from Ikagoria's gangsters. Thank you, Taro. It's okay. This ship is for the bananas. We can arrest Ikagoria. Let's hurry to the court. We'll come with you. Good man, Taro. Sometimes it seems we've got it. If you live here in America, it's like we've got it so good. We assume that we should not be having any sort of problems, any sort of suffering. And if we do, well, that just means something's gone wrong with the program here. That's not the case, though. We will have suffering. We will have problems as long as we're breathing still. We are not promised an easy life. Never have been, never will be. I mean, if the very Son of God had problems as he walked this earth, we are super arrogant if we think we are going to be an exception to that. You know what another problem that you can fix very easily is, though? If you're not subscribed to the Gaming Theologian, my channel here, please do subscribe to what I'm doing here. And please consider becoming a supporter through Patreon. You can do that easily. I've got a description in a link in the description below. Just make a donation. The minimum I ask of you people, if you are willing to help out, go for $5 a day. Okay, yeah, we'll come back here after I'm done with my pitch here. It's asking, no, not $5 a day, $5 a month. I'm sorry about that. It's asking too much. It's like the price of a cup of coffee or something. Maybe 2 cups. Either way, try that. Okay? You will be helping out a cause. You'll be enabling me to do what I do here. And I do try to be honorable with what you all give. Because I know it's a gift. if you are one of the people who gives, you are doing it freely and saying, I support you and I want to see you succeed. I want to see this work reach other people. I'm benefited by this. Please let me help you. And guys, I rarely do things like go out to eat or anything like that because I'm trying to honor the money. Most of it goes towards education and daily living expenses. That's it. So please do give. It means so much. And then also we've got a Discord here. You can join in on that, and I've got a section for Christianity, for apologetics, for autism, and for men going through divorce. I know you women need help if you're going through divorce, I agree. But that help, I think, needs to come from other women. So this is a place for men to come to talk with someone who's been there and express male concerns with divorce. I've also got the link to my Substack. I don't update there as much as I should, but I try to every now and then. Semester starts next week, so please do be willing to give. So now let's get back to talking about the game here. And the problems that we deal with. See, like I said, in dystopian literature, you assume that the problem's going to get resolved somehow. And why do you think it's going to get resolved? Because the good guys win. Okay. Judge, we found Ikagoria ship for bananas. You go to report and you go get Ikagoria. What are you talking about? Nothing like bananas were found with ships. You hid them someplace. Hey, I came straight from the store. I had no time to do that. And you, miss, be careful from now on. How could you that good judge and officers be on Igagoria's side? Don't be too suspicious. Well, she's a detective, she's supposed to be. Kane, what happened? I thought I'd get some clue if I get into Igagoria, so they found me in. Here they come, hide. So I sneak into Igagoria's and ran his way. Igagoria says he looked just like Kane. Where was Kane? He got sorry he must have gone on a date or something. I see. Hannah gave up. Some big guys are concerned with this case. It's getting out of our hands. That's okay. Take care of yourself now. Can't do anything like this. Now let's go see Ikagoria. You're right. I've got to do it now. So we're going to heal up here and go to the end. And move on to the next chapter here. And at the end of Earthbound, for instance, you're told after all your questing that the enemy's plans in the future now have been reduced to the point where they have a 99.9% chance of success. And you know what? You finish the game saying, oh my god, he's gonna fail. It's pretty confident when you think about it. Now we look at those and we think, good guys are gonna win. Good guys are gonna win. And then as soon as we start dealing with something, it's, yeah, the good guys aren't gonna win. We trust a human offer to bring about a good ending more than we trust God to do the same thing. Isn't that sad on our part? if we're Christians and we claim we believe in the goodness of God, shouldn't that apply across the board? Somebody's there. Shogun, how are bananas? Worry not, they are all nice and safe. I'm working so hard to keep the police quiet. I know, please do not say any more. I bought extra gold just for you. Gathering Magi costs a lot of money. Squeeze more money from a townsman. You are bad. That is a very nice compliment, and not as bad as you. What is this music? I never understood that part. It seems like break the fourth wall entirely. What? Who do you think you're talking to? Come on, fellas. This is certainly working out awkwardly, but I think we're going to pull it off, especially since we got him confused. Yep. Shogun told me to do it. I don't know anything. Of course, we all knew there had to be a shogun involved in a Japanese society. Shogun, please don't give it up, Hannah. I will do away with that Shogun. My task is to guard Magi from such people as Shogun. Are you a guardian? Yes, I am. You know guardians? My father was when he was called Captain. I was no, he is. He is gone. Come with me to defeat Shogun. I will avenge you for your father. See, that's why the school children didn't really know what they were talking about. Teiro's not a teacher. He's a guardian. And what I am going to see if I can buy here. Okay, I can't buy it here. I'm going to go to Yellow Town and buy it, though. Pretty sure I saw it for sale there. But, you see, thing is, this isn't really our story that we're living. This is God's story. We just play a part in it. And our problems or challenges that we can overcome. That's odd. Maybe it's over here. We might just go back to Yellow Town just to double check. Yeah, I think actually now everybody was Ikagoria selling things, but we're gonna go double check either way. Teiro is an excellent swordsman, so one of the best things you can do is equip him with swords. Simple enough, isn't it? And the Murama sword works best against humanoid enemies. Nope, I was hoping to buy a tent, which is kind of like a portable inn. Guess I should have bought that from Ikagoria when I had the chance, oh well. So now we're off to Shogun's Castle. I think I'll save either way just to be safe. What if you started then seeing your problems as a challenge to overcome? Something that just makes the game a little bit more interesting in that regard. And when you overcame that challenge, it's a big win then. I told my boss that every gamer, to some extent, understands this. See, we all understand the idea of fighting against an enemy that you are struggling to overcome, fighting against that boss that you go against time and time again, and being defeated over and over. But as you go on, you start noticing things. You start seeing a pattern emerge. And then, eventually, the time comes. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with a different monster now. That didn't work well. After that mini boss of sorts, we're gonna go back in here. And that time comes that you win. It is a time of jubilation at that point. Because you know that you did it. You won. You beat a problem that you thought you couldn't overcome. We said, that is what a game presents you with. It presents you with a problem. And when you play the game, whatever game it is, be it a video game or any other game, you agree to take on the problem. And when you beat that problem, it is a sweet, sweet victory at that point. This is for my character, since I'm about to run out of ability level. Hopefully we'll get some more in Shogun's Castle. It's a great victory when you overcome the problem. And you know that you did it. It wasn't anyone else. It was you that did it. You put in the work. And the commandos are the ones I really get concerned about, but at the same time, I also know that they can give me the best material here. So it's kind of a win-win in some ways. Well, that's not the best analogy, but I can't think of what it would be right now. They give me the greatest risk, but they give me the greatest reward too. Going back to my boss at work, I've tried to help her with learning some stuff that has to be done. And I've been there longer, so I know how to do it more. And when it finally clicks for her and she sees what happened, it's like, that was it? That's what I was concerned about? Because it's really so easy once you get it down. It's a process that we're all learning still to some extent. But if you're a gamer, you do understand it. You overcome the challenge, and you delight in the victory of having done so. Again, this doesn't mean that you do so without fear at at times. Of course you can be scared. But you still stand up and you face the challenge regardless. And when I came to live here in New Orleans, I was moving away from everyone that I knew. Yeah, since in coming to a new place, we're going to equip. There you go. And there's a lot of challenges. I mean, one of the reasons I ask you all to make a donation is because some of the biggest challenges I face here are financial challenges. And everything that you do along those lines to contribute helps me out with that challenge. And I definitely appreciate it. But being on the spectrum, there are social challenges as well. Learning to interact with people. There's challenges of doing a lot of classwork. There's any number of challenges face every day. You wake up, there's new challenges to overcome. And that's okay. Because we were never promised things would be easy. And dare I say it, but if things were easy, would we care anymore? As long as we're in the flesh to some extent, do we really want an easy life? Do we want to say we have never overcome anything in life? Or do we like, instead of the thought of knowing that we faced our lives and we rose above any challenges that got in our way? So when I think about this lady who's thinking she was born in the wrong time based on having difficulties finding a good guy, okay? Go out there and be the good woman then. Because, you know what, you don't have control over the guys. Okay? As hard as it is, you don't. But you have control over yourself. You have control over the kind of person you are going to be in the face of everything. So be the person that you think you should be. Live the life the way you think you should live life. And there are several women out there that are actually making videos where they're speaking against the way that men are treated. I watch a lot of their videos. It's very good stuff. And you will find a lot of support from men going this route. Be the person you want to be. Be the light you want to be. In our day and age, it's easy to go the alternative way. It's super easy. We've practically made a sport out of it. Blame everyone else for the suffering that is going on in your life. Hold them accountable for what you are dealing with. Oh yeah, this is where I want to go. The ninja gauntlets should help with speed as well. And body gives extra hit points, and since my character has that already, let's give it to the mutant. I do love getting a strike first. I'm suspecting that it could be that Tavo has a surprise ability that make a lot of sense, but either way, I'm not complaining. And when you suffer, don't act like something odd is happening to you that shouldn't be. Suffering is a part of life. And if you need to get support in that, go ahead and get that support. That's what it's there for. That's why you have counselors and therapists, but also why you have friends. Why you have ministers. At least they're supposed to help you. Most times. Whether they do or not could be another question. But they're supposed to. Here's the Shogun. I'm here to take your life. Now here's the thing. This is actually quite possibly the easiest boss in the game. Even easier than the first mini-boss. There, down already. Well, that was easy. And there's why. Just disappear. Samurai bows. Come this way. Okay, gonna be a little bit getting set to fight this boss. Now you can fight on the side of statues. They're dolphins. You know what? I'm gonna do that once just to show you. And these are actually boss enemies. In a sense. They don't really have a defense. They can actually do a lot of damage if they use, I think it's their wall attack. Fortunately, they're not doing that. And that was kind of useless, but I just want you to see it here. Okay, now hermits are weak to thunder, so we're going to use that on them. Super annoying, but again, it's a problem, and I'm going to be consistent with what I've been saying here. Now, after I beat Magnate here, assuming I will tonight, which I think I probably will, and that's going to be it for the night. Okay, we're all equipped here. Some was useless, but I do have some luck. You brought me the Magi. Now, the number one thing we want to hope is that he will not use his tornado attack. That's probably his most lethal attack. And there you go, right off the bat. See, this is the thing with games like this. You really couldn't prepare for them. And sometimes things just did not work in your favor. Like there. Now, that time, it did work in my favor. So now we're going to hope that ice will work on him also. RNG is on my side this time. There. Ice, thunder, poison. Now what? Yeah, you two look great together. 10 more Magi left to go. Let's go. 67 Magi. Oh yeah, we're all healed up again. We got just a couple minutes, so this next world here, this is the Nasty Dungeon world. Mean and Nasty, Barnager and Magi, I have one of this box, but not anymore. And just to show you that she's telling the truth. Yep. Now, there is a lot of good stuff in this dungeon, but we're going to come back at a later point in the game when we have an extra piece of equipment to help. Yeah, I know I said I'd probably start after Magnate, but there's just... Now, this is interesting that there's only one way to go here. Yeah, the enemies are now actually getting, believe it or not, even tougher. That means my monsters can get even better. We're going to make our way to that building that's over here. I'm not sure if you got to see it yet or not. And then that's going to be it for the day. Now, this might sound familiar with music. Yes, because this is Valhalla Palace. It's where Odin lives, who's kept reviving us. We're going to meet him probably next time. For now, I'm Nick Peters, the gaming theologian. I affirm the virgin birth. Go out there and overcome your problems. Fight your boss battles. Win and be victorious. And remember, whatever you do, do it to the glory of God. Even your gaming. Bye for now.